Good morning, everyone. Okay, am I audible?
Yes, sir. Good morning.
Good morning. Okay, so in previous session, I have discussed about the Vogel's approximation method. We have discussed about Vogel's approximation method. Now that particular method is included in the initial basic feasible solution approach. That is, before you obtain the optimal solution, that is the solution that you need to obtain. That is the reason it is called as the feasible solution, but it is the initial solution. So that is the reason the entire name is initial basic feasible solution. So we would be doing the practice of Vogel's method because I guess we haven't done the ample amount of the practice for Vogel's method. We have done only one of the questions of that particular method. So let's start with the practice of Vogel's method. So I will be giving you the question and same thing you will be doing the answer for that particular question and then we will be discussing. So everybody just get ready with your pen and notebook. I am just sharing the screen. Okay, so this type of the structure you need to make. This table will be given to you along with the demand and the supply. What you need to do, you need to simply find the difference in between the minimum two numbers. So it will be the difference in the row and it will be the difference in the column. Find the difference in the minimum numbers and with the reference of that difference, whatever iteration you are doing, let's say this is the first iteration in the column wise, you are getting 1, 1, 1. This is the first iteration in the row wise, you are getting 1, 1, 2, and 2. So with the reference of this particular difference, you find the maximum difference. You find the maximum difference. And this particular maximum difference corresponding to that particular maximum difference, if you are considering this particular thing, then it corresponds to the first row. If you would be considering, let's say this one, so you would be having the maximum difference corresponding to, let's say, the third column. Then your next point of look will be on the third column. So whatever the highest difference is there, whatever the maximum difference is there, you allocate the number of units to that particular cell correspondingly to the lower value. That means whatever lower value is coming in that particular row or column, you allocate the number of units looking into the supply and the demand values. And then you can carry on for the next iteration. The row or column which becomes 0 won't be taking part in the next iteration, that is for sure. So this is how our Vogel's approximation method is working. So let's do the example for the practice. Another example. Okay. Now I hope the screen will be visible. Let me write the question. Okay, so there is a question. So everybody just start doing this particular question quickly using Vogel's approximation method. I am giving you 5 minutes to solve this particular question and then we will be having the discussion. At least in the 5 minutes you can able to solve 2 or 3 penalties. Find the difference between the lowest two numbers. Make sure you hide this particular demand and supply rows and the column. Don't include this in your calculation of finding the difference. I'm just highlighting it so that I may not include it. I may not make the mistake by including this particular thing. Okay, so let's have the discussion for row penalty 1 and column penalty 1, and let's proceed for the first penalty. I probably guess that you would have done the first penalty. Okay, so what will be there in the row penalty 1? Anybody, if you can just unmute your mic and help me to fill up these blocks.
Sir, for row it will be 9, 10 and 12.
Okay, 9, 10 and 12. Fine. And column?
And column is 21, 22, 10 and 10.
Okay, fine. So what we have done over here, if you can just look, everyone, those who are having any of the confusions can look over here. In the row penalty 1, for the first step, what we are doing, we are finding out, we are looking forward for the minimum two values, the lowest two values. So over here in this case, these are the lowest two values. So find the difference between them, 19 and 10. So the difference is 9. Same thing, look for the lowest two values for the next row. It's 30 and 40. Same thing, look for the lowest values for the next row. It's 8 and 20. So the difference is 12. Same thing will be going forward for the column. So in the column, which are the two values which are lowest? This 2, 1. So the column penalty 1 will be 21. Next will be 30 and 8. So you can take any of the 30s. It's completely fine. So it's 22. 40 and 50, it's 10. And 10 and 20, it's 10. So we have found out the row and column penalties for the first iteration. Now look forward for the highest penalty. So which is the highest penalty? It's this one. This is the highest penalty. 22. So out of the penalties 21, 22, 10, 10, 12, 10 and 9. Which is the highest penalty? It's 22. So allocate 22, allocate the units in the column representing this 22. So it will be this column. It will be this particular column. Find out the lowest most cost. It's this one, 8. The lowest most cost is 8. This one. So this particular 8, the cell 8 requires 8 units, or it is demanding 8 units, and correspondingly this S3 is supplying 18 units. So 8 units will be satisfied. This will turn out to 10, 0, and this will turn out to 10. Since this has become 0, we won't be considering this particular column, and this column will not take into the further iterations because it has become 0. Okay, now continue for the second penalty. I will be again doing the same thing in 2 minutes again. Okay, let's have the discussion for the second one. So second is row penalty 2, column penalty 2. Okay, so I have got the response from Viraj. Column penalty is 9, 20, 20. Okay, 9, 20, 20 and 21, 10, 10. Fine. So column penalty 2, find the minimum values. It's 19 and 40. So difference is 21. Over here, again, the difference is 10. In this case, the difference is 10. Row penalty 19, 50, 10. Now you don't need to consider this 30. Why? Because 30 is not taking part in our second iteration. 30 is not taking part in our second iteration. It has been ruled out. So you just focus on the values which are still remaining. So 19 and 10 are the minimums, so consider 9. 70, 40, 60. Now in this particular case, 40 and 60 are the two minimum values, so we would be taking 20. 40, 70, 20. So 20 and 40 are the minimum values, we will be taking 20. In this particular case, this one is the highest penalty. Find out the minimum cost, it's this one. Allocate the units. Demand is 5, supply is 7, so allocate 5. This turns out to be 0. Cancel out this column and remove 5 from this, so the units remaining is 2. Now this particular column won't be playing the role into the further iterations, the first column. Now let's move forward for the third penalty. For the third column, now over here, first and the second columns are been ruled out. They are not playing a role in our second penalty. Okay. So Virat says in the third iteration, we will be having blank, blank, 10 and 10, 40, 20, 50. Okay. So the first two are the blanks. The third one is minimum two values are 10. And in this particular case, it's 10. In the row penalty, the minimum values are the two values which are remaining. So it's 40. Over here also the two values that are remaining there is 20. In this case, it's 50. Because the first and the second are been ruled out. First and the second have been ruled out. Find the highest penalty. It's this one, 50. This is the highest penalty, 50. Which is the minimum weight or cost, it's 20. Corresponding to 20, you are having the supply of 10 units and 14 units is the demand. So you can satisfy the supply, it's 10. Over here, it will be 0. In this case, it will be 4. Since this third row has become 0, you just cancel out this. And this third row will not be taking part into the further calculations. Okay, continue the process for the fourth penalty column and for the fourth penalty row. So what could be the answer for the fourth one? First and the second columns, the same thing, blank. Third column, 50 and 40, so it's 10. 10 and 16, now it will become 50 because this 20 has been allocated. In the row penalty, 50 and 10, so it's 40. 40 and 60, it's 20. Now in this particular case, this is the highest penalty, 50. So find out the lowest value. Now this 20 has been allocated, so you don't need to look over here for the 20. So look for 10. Now in this particular 10, you are having a supply of 2 and demand is of the 4. So you can satisfy the supply 2. It will become 0. This will become 2. Since this has become 0, it won't be taking part in the further calculations and the value 50 will get cancelled out. Okay. Till now, any doubt? Anybody having any doubt till now? Fine. Now let's move for the fifth iteration. Column penalty 5, row penalty 5. Over here, the first row ruled out, the second row, the difference is 20. The difference is 20. The third row ruled out, the first column ruled out, second column ruled out, third column, we don't have any of the values. See, we are actually taking the difference. We are actually taking the difference between the two lowest values. Now, for that, we need to have the two values. Without two values, how can we take the difference between the two lowest values? Over here only we are having the single value. So this particular column will also not take part in the iteration. So what we are doing, we are putting dash over here. Fourth column, again, it won't take part in the next iteration. Why? Because it is only one value. So put dash over here. So which is the highest penalty in the fifth penalty column? It's the 20. That's the only penalty. Find out the lowest value. It's 40. 7 and 9. So you can allocate 7 over here. It will be 0. This will become 2. Now, again, for the next iteration, you just need to extend this. See how many iterations will be possible. It can't be said. So that is the reason you need to have this flexibility to extend. So column penalty 6 over here, it will be row penalty 6. For the first row, it's rolled out. For the second row, now you don't have any other number. So it won't take part in the iteration. The third row is rolled out. The first column is rolled out. Second column rolled out. Third column rolled out. Fourth column rolled out. So that means whenever you would be having all the dashes, that means all the rows and the columns are been rolled out. At that time, it's the end of your iteration. Now, whatever left is there, you just allocate it. So over here, the only thing that is left is this one. 60 is left. The only thing that is left is 60. So allocate this 60. How many units you need to allocate? 2 and 2 is there. So just allocate 2 units. And your final cost matrix will be 19 into 5. So it's 95 plus 7 into 40, 280 plus 2 into 10, 20 plus 60 into 2, 120 plus 8 into 8, 64 plus 10 into 20, 200. Just do the sum of all these things. It's 200 plus 280 and 20, so 300. So 500, 620, 715 and 64. So it's 779. So this is what your cost value is there. Now, anybody having any doubt in this particular type of the questions, Vogel's approximation method? Anybody having any doubt? I want response from everybody. Don't just sit idle. I know that your exams would be approaching, so you may be in the mood to prepare for your mid-semester exams, but it is also important to understand these things. I'm waiting for 2 to 3 more responses. I have got response from 5 people. Okay, so let's have the discussion of one more example. So let me just clear this thing. I'm writing the question over here. Okay, so there is the question, the next question, and probably the last question for Vogel's method. And that will be the end of our this particular module. Remember one thing, after this particular module, we would be having the assignment problem module. Assignment problem module. So in that particular module, that is a very small module. So we can complete it within next 10 days, maximum 10 days. And then we would be having the mid exam for this IA, because after that we would be having the end of our linear programming models. But again, the same thing, since we are doing the end of this particular module, we need to conduct one class test. We need to conduct one class test for this transportation problem. So I am just planning to conduct the class test for this transportation problem on the 23rd. That is the next Monday. I hope that will be the fine. The date will be fine. I hope there won't be any clashes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, maybe we have Viva of DBMS on that day.
DBMS, so Ami, right? Ami
Actually,
was
ma'am has
doing,
not confirmed yet. Actually, ma'am told that we have Viva on either on Saturday or on Monday.
okay, so DBMS is taken by Ami, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir.
Okay, so fine, I will be confirming with her. And if your Viva is not there on 23rd, then we would be finalizing the date as 23rd. So by that time, you will just solve this particular question using Vogel's approximation method.
Sorry, in second row here, we need to take the two same value, right? We are not going to see the two different values.
Right.
Okay, sir. I'm just confirming.
Okay. Okay, so how many penalties have been completed? The first penalty has been completed or not? Okay, I am getting few of the answers in the chat. Okay, fine. So just help me out. What would be the case? Before that, just read this snippet. It was just for, I was sitting idle, so I just written it in this type of format. So probably it's understood. It's not the part of the OT, but related to OT. If your DBMS Viva is scheduled on Monday, then your OT exam will be on Wednesday, else it will be on Monday. So I was just told madam to confirm to you by evening so that you can have the time for the preparation. Okay. So what is the first step that we need to take over here? Anybody? I have got 3 answers in the chat about the penalties. So what could be the first step that can be taken? Right. I have got 2 people who are saying that, okay, 3 people who are saying that it is not balanced transportation problem. So that is the first step that you need to look. I was shocked by getting 3 answers for the penalties. See, the straightforward thing is that you don't need to forget the rules with the advent of the methods. The basic rules remains the same. The basic rule says that check for, what are the basic rules? I probably guess you might have forgotten. Check for balancing. This is the basic rule. Check for balancing. The next rule is to find initial basic feasible solution and then the optimal solution. So this is the flow that you don't need to forget. Whatever type of the method you choose for initial basic feasible solution, before that you need to check for the balancing. It is most important thing. Check for the balancing. If you look over here, the problem is not balanced. The problem is not balanced. So what I will be doing, I will be adding one more column over here in order to balance the problem. It is column unbalanced. So I will be writing the supply 76, 82, 77, and I will be erasing all these values. And I will be writing over here to be, let's say, D. The values will be 0, 0, 0. The sum for this demand is 5 and 4 and 7, 11, 2 and 5. And the sum for supply is 15 and 16 and 7. It's 235. So we are in the deficiency of 20 units. Okay. So the first step is to find the penalty. So find the penalty over here. Now I am not drawing with this particular scale, but I request everybody that don't draw like me. This is a very bad drawing, but you don't draw like me. You need to take your scale. Okay. So row penalty, the minimum value is 0 and 4, so it's 4. Now over here you can see in all the rows you will be having zeros. So whatever the minimum value will be there, it will be reflecting over here 16 and over here 8. In the column it will be 4 and 8, so difference is 4. 8 and 16, the difference is 8. 8 and 16, the difference is 8. And over here 0 and 0, so difference is 0. Let me highlight this thing so that we don't make the mistakes by considering the demand and supply. Okay, so again I'm repeating how we have obtained D over here. So check for the balancing. The demand sum that was been given was 215. The supply sum that was been given was 235. If you just sum out this supply, it will be 235. If you sum out this demand, it will be 215 before adding this 20. So this is nothing but the not balanced or unbalanced transportation problem. So that is the reason you need to add the 20 over here in the column. Anybody having any further doubt? Fine. So look forward for the highest penalty. So it's this one, which is the minimum value. It's 0. So allocate the 20 to 0. So this will become 0. This will become 62. Since this has become 0, just ignore it. And you put zeros out here. Again, find the column and the row penalty. Now we will be proceeding somewhat faster. 4 and 8, so it will be 4, 8 and 16, it will be 8, 8 over here, row penalty. So 4 and 8, it will be 4. Over here, it will be 16 and 16, so now it's 0. 8, 16, 24, so it will be 8. Look forward for the highest penalty, so you can look forward for any of the penalties. There are multiple 8s. So you can look forward for any of the 8. Let's say we are looking forward for this column, third column. So look for the lowest value. So it's 8 over here. Allocate 41 and 76. So 41 will be allocating. This will turn out to 0. And 76. So subtract 41 from this. It will be 5 and 35. This has become 0. So just cancel out this one. And this particular third column will get rolled out. Next step, continue the same process. 4 and 8, difference is 4. In the column penalty 3. 8 and 16, the difference is 8. In the row penalty 3, we would be having 4 and 8. So difference is 4. 16 and 24, the difference is 8. 8 and 16, the difference is 8. Which is the highest? it's 8. So let's say we are considering this one, 8. So find out the minimum value, this one, 8. Allocate 102 and 35. So allocate 35 over here. So this will become 0. And subtract 35 from this. So it will be 67, if I am not wrong. Since this has become 0, this row will not participate in the next iteration. Carry on the same process, column penalty 4. It's 8 and 16, so 8. This one is also 8. In this particular case, the second row, it's 16 and 24, so it's 8. 8 and 16, it's 8. So let's say we are looking forward for either the row or column. You can look for any of the values. So let's say we are looking forward for this particular 8. You can just randomly select anything. There is no issue. I will be taking just 1 more minute to complete this thing. The minimum value is 8. Over here, 72 and 77. So 72 is there. So this will become 0. This will become 5. Since this has become 0, it won't be taking part in the further iterations. Column penalty 5. Row penalty 5. This one will be 8. Over here again, penalty 5, row penalty 5. This is the only one. So we won't be considering. This is the only one. So we won't be considering. So this is the 8 only value, 8 which is left. So over here, allocate in this particular size 67 and 5. So allocate 5 over here. It's 62. That will be left. This will be 0. So now we are done with all the rows and the penalties. In the next step, you will be getting dash in all the values. So just fill out the remaining portion, which is this one cell only. So allocate 62 units over here. This will be 0. This will be 0. That's it. You can just do the multiplication and then the summation to find the cost value. So this was the example corresponding to the unbalanced transportation problem. So that's it for this session. If anybody is having any doubt, then you can ask me, or else you may leave the session. You can write your roll number and name in the chat box for the attendance, and you can leave the session. If you are having any doubt, then you can ask me, but keep in mind about the OT exam the next week, either on Monday or on Wednesday, depending on the schedule of Viva of DBMS.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
It will be a theory test, or it will be a quiz like in the quiz format?
Okay, so it won't be that in the quiz format, it will be the written, because you need to solve this all the questions. So it won't be there in the
Okay.
quiz format.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Sir, syllabus will be after the simplex method, or it will be included in this class test also?
I didn't got what you asked.
Sir, course for the class test means it will be included means simplex method and all.
The simplex method, BGAM method will be there. I'm planning to include BGAM method because that is the thing that you may not have much practice. So I will be including BGAM method and then this transportation problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay.